We are window shopping today. Literally window shopping. I know it's a fun pun. We're starting it off with a nice, good pun. Actually, we're more like door shopping. We might look at some windows too, but primarily door shopping. If you remember in my old living room in my house that burned down last year that we are now rebuilding, I had these large sliding glass doors that were beautiful, beautiful sliding glass doors. And then of course they went with everything else. They are no longer there. So we got to order some new ones. And it takes a while for these doors to come in because they're custom made to order. They have to fit perfectly, and the lead time on them is crazy. It could be weeks, if not, it's usually months. It usually takes months. We are still far from installing them, but we need to order them now. I'm meeting up with my contractor and good friend Alvaro. He's the one that's rebuilding my house from the ground up. Red Fox Construction is his company, and he sort of set up this appointment. I hope this place is chill. I hope they're good. I hope the people are knowledgeable, because there's actually a lot of, like, it's a whole rabbit hole that you can go down with these doors and windows, the glass that they use, the framing, what the heck is a thermal break and how does that work? It's amazing how you start suddenly caring about a topic you'd otherwise give no shits about simply because your house burned down and you gotta rebuild it. There he is. Hi, Alvaro.
Hi, Kyle.
Nice to meet you. Do we need to have like a fireside chat before we go in there?
I mean, yeah, it doesn't hurt. So this is Superior Molding. I know you wanted some really nice sliding doors for your living room. I know you had some before that you were kind of happy with, but it's been a couple years since the last time you had to purchase some doors. So I don't want to get you locked into something you had before.
Right.
We can get you something that's better, cheaper, or more your style. This is my favorite place to buy these kind of doors because they're on display. There's a different thing like seeing them online and then seeing them in person.
I mean, I won't even buy a pair of jeans without trying them on first. So, I mean, I might as well do it for these freaking doors.
Exactly.
You know? All right, let's go inside. Let's check this place out. Before we continue this life-changing video, nothing is more life-changing than a good night's rest. And that's easy to get thanks to today's sponsor, Helix Sleep. Honestly, with the current state of the PC market, now might be the right time to upgrade something that's actually worth the price. I've been sleeping on a Helix Midnight Luxe for over a year now, and it's absolutely become my most prized possession. Sorry, 5090, you've got issues. In fact, it's so comfortable that on busy work weeks, Mel sometimes sleeps in the living room just to avoid oversleeping. It's not that effective. A mattress upgrade from Helix realigns your spine, reduces pain, and replaces your old mattress, along with all the allergens, dust mites, and mystery stains it's been collecting. Like upgrading your basic office chair to a proper ergonomic one, or doing a clean install of windows, this feels just as amazing. Helix ships your mattress straight to your door with free delivery in the US. It arrives rolled up in a box, making setup quick and easy. Plus, they offer a lifetime warranty on all their mattresses, along with a 120-day sleep trial so you can make sure it's the perfect fit. Proper support leads to better and deeper sleep, which is directly related to reduced stress, better mood, and higher cognitive function, so like focus and reaction times. Basically, this mattress will make you a better gamer, especially once they release the 360Hz model. Take Helix's free sleep quiz to find which mattress is best for you, and take advantage of their March Madness sale for 20% off site-wide. That's 20% off site-wide. Head to helixsleep.com/bitwit or click the link in the description to get started. Thanks again to Helix Sleep for sponsoring this one. Now back to the main video.
You know, if you have pets or kids and dog sees a squirrel, that dog's bolting through the screen, right? So everything here, this is all Fleetwood. You're familiar with this?
Yeah.
Okay. The multi-sliding door.
Looks very familiar. So that's the same brand that I used to have, which is Fleetwood, which I've been told is very good.
It's the best.
Is it the best?
It's the best. It's considered the Ferrari for aluminum. And the reason is because it does so many different types of things. They do have some basic features, but if you need to do like any sort of directional drainage, or you want to have kind of like this flush interior to exterior look, you can definitely do that. Because usually if you were going to do a regular sill, butting up the exterior would kind of plug these little weeps and you would just kind of have a Titanic flood. So what they do is they offer a system that actually has directional drainage, and it's these little like couplings that you can kind of take hoses out and away so you can get this nice perfect flush sill. You know, the doors you usually want to do in aluminum. Sliding or multi-sliding, and then we usually pair those with windows that are more energy efficient and less expensive because aluminum windows are expensive.
Can you explain why aluminum's kind of the material of choice for doors like these?
It's really just more about the hardware and the way that they operate and slide. I would probably recommend a wood-clad aluminum on the outside, wood interior painted black. to match this black for a French swing door. They just make better swing doors in general. They're also less expensive. They get better energy ratings because there's wood on the interior as opposed to aluminum. Aluminum gets really hot to the touch on the outside and it transfers energy very well. It's a very high conductor of energy. And the same would go with the windows. Now, usually when you're putting in windows in your home, your Title 24 report, they're a little bit more stringent on the windows and they're a little more lenient on the doors. When I talk about the leniency, I'm saying the rating of the door, the energy efficiency. They'll kind of let these be a bit higher.
How do they measure that, or what's that measured in?
Yeah, it's a weighted average, so it's not just the efficiency of your window or your door, it's your HVAC, it's your insulation, what kind of appliances it's the whole window of it. So if you really wanted to rework the numbers on a Title 24 report, you would just take them to a green energy consultant, which is through your architect, and they would actually be able to kind of finagle the numbers, because California is very strict.
Yeah.
High taxes, high demands.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, so they love to just make everything as difficult as possible. I would definitely say that we stick with aluminum sliding doors just because of the functionality. They're thin, they're strong, they look great, and the matte finish, it pairs well with fiberglass, it pairs well with aluminum wood clad, but you get those ratings I was talking about with the wood.
So because you said, obviously like aluminum is a really strong conductor of heat.
Yes.
Is that where the thermal break feater comes into play?
Correct.
Because
yes.
I've heard that that's an option. Can you tell us a little bit about how thermal break actually works and in your opinion, if it's worth it?
Let me start with it's not worth it, it's necessary. You have to have it. I mean, I've been up to the mountains when it's snowing and it's an old aluminum door and it's ice on the outside and it's ice on the inside. And
Brutal.
It's 70 degrees in the house and there's ice forming on here. So it's noticeable. Adversely in the summer, when you stand next to a non-thermally broken aluminum door and you're standing inside, you can literally feel heat permeating off of the frame. So it is necessary, not just worth it. But yeah, the thermal break basically does what it sounds like. It breaks the energy transfer of heat to the inside. So you'll have two basic pieces. This is built in and the style is actually not thermally broken. And by the way, this 3070 series comes in a 3070 or a 3070T, which stands for thermal. So that will have a thermal break and that will stop that transfer of heat.
Do you happen to know what kind of material they use for the thermal break?
Typically, it's just a composite material, something that's going to, it depends. It depends on which manufacturer you're using. Polyurethane, some sort of a plastic, but it's extruded. So the aluminum part is what's actually keeping it strong.
It is the next day, and oh my God, my head is still spinning from being at that place. We were there for like 2 or 3 hours. We were there for a very long time. It was so much information to absorb. Adam did a fantastic job, articulating everything. It actually helped me make a bunch of decisions, some that I already kind of knew I was gonna make, and then other things are still up in the air. So for starters, I think I'm just gonna try to replace what I had because I really liked those Fleetwood doors. I want aluminum sliders, and right now Fleetwood is still unmatched in that department. So Fleetwood doors and thermally broken, of course. It's gonna help me save some money on my electricity bills and things like that. Windows are gonna be, I'm gonna take Adam's suggestion on that. I'm probably gonna be going with a less expensive option than Fleetwood. I could probably use a cheaper brand there to cut down on costs. However, there's gonna be one window in the house that's gonna have to be Fleetwood, and that's gonna be the transom window. It's a fun new lingo term I learned. A transom window that's gonna go above one of the sliding doors. This is new. This is a new addition to the house because one of the biggest changes for this rebuild, there's gonna be a vaulted ceiling in the kitchen and living room area, where before it was just a flat, normal ceiling. Now it's got like a pitch and stuff. And this was a decision that I didn't even make. My architect just drew it into his plans when he first made them. And I was just like, oh, that's different. But you're the architect, so sure, yeah, screw it. And because of that, it makes sense to have a little transom window there. It's gonna let more natural light in, which I like because it could be a little dark in that room before. That's gonna have to be Fleetwood to match the door that's directly beneath it because they're both, in the same line of sight. But that's what's going on so far with the windows and doors. Right now we are on our way to my lot. We're going to my lot, which I haven't seen in like 4 months. It's been a long time since I've been there. And we're gonna meet up with Alvaro to see what's going on. It doesn't look like there's much, there's not a whole lot of visual progress. My lot is still pretty much just a bunch of dirt, even though they have done like the soil grading and things like that. They've done a few other things too, but we're really just gonna go there to check in, meet up with Alvaro, find out what they're working on right now and what's around the corner. Hello. Yeah. How you doing? Good, good, good. Yeah, Alvaro, is he here?
Yeah, he's atrás.
Okay, great. Thank you. Gracias.
Hey.
What's up? I passed my house. I didn't even recognize it because of the fence. Dang. You guys have been busy.
Oh, yeah.
Wait, what the heck? I didn't realize you guys did so much digging.
Yeah, well, remember that 65-foot long wall that I told you was like 9 feet?
The giant retaining wall?
Yeah, there's the bottom of it.
Wait, hold on. Let me mic you up really quick.
So we finished digging out the retaining wall. So it's about to be about 9 feet high and about 65 feet long.
Is that how big it was before, or?
No, your retaining wall ended somewhere over there. I know you had one.
It used to be physically attached to
The house.
It
Yeah,
was
it
like
was
the
the
north
north
wall
wall.
of the house, which
Yeah.
was a problem because anytime, like you said, there'd be moisture that would leak in. The paint on the inside of the house would like
Yeah,
bubble up. It was really bad.
When they installed it, they didn't do a proper vapor barrier. You're not going to do that anymore.
Now the retaining wall is
There'll be
completely
some
separate
space
from the
between
house.
them, yeah.
There'll be like a walkway in between the house and the wall.
Correct.
But we needed to pull a separate permit for that wall, right?
Well, this was part of it. I just broke up the permits to get the other permits faster because this could have taken a little bit longer for them to issue me.
Right.
But it doesn't even matter because like I wanted to get it done from the beginning anyways because I can't really do what I want to do without stabilizing, one, your neighbor's property, and two, your foundation area. So this is going to hold up your neighbor's massive wall property so that way it never comes down.
Will there be footings underneath it or no?
So yeah, so we're gonna rebar all of this. This is just to hold up the mountain that is the side of your house.
Right.
And then we're gonna do more digging here in this area to do the foundation for your house later. You wanna go in there?
Do I want to go in there?
Yeah.
It looks, it's so deep. Like it
is.
It
Here,
does not,
hold on.
how about, can you actually go in there for scale? Because I don't think people realize how freaking massive this hole is that you guys just dug.
Yeah.
That's insane. This is probably what, like 20 feet underground? How is this?
No, so
15 feet?
I'm 6 feet tall.
Yeah.
So it's.
Don't rub it in. Where does the wall start? Does it start in the deepest pit here?
Oh yeah, so this cutout part is called the key,
Okay.
which is, I'll show you on the plans if I have them. It makes more sense if you see it on paper.
I'm a visual learner, which means I'm dumb.
This is a side cutout of your wall. So this is the dirt that you see up against the wall over there.
Okay.
The wall is gonna be about 9 feet tall, and then we're gonna come out. This is that channel that we just saw, it's called the key.
I see.
Comes up, and you're gonna have rebar going up here to the side and then all the way up here. Then we're gonna form with concrete forms, fill it all with concrete according to the specs, and then it will be structurally strong, and then we backfill any areas that aren't cement with some of your clean dirt that we pulled from the mountain.
So the original retaining wall that I had, it looked like it was just sort of concrete bricks layered.
It was cinder block,
Cinder
yeah.
blocks. The rebar process that we're doing now for this new wall is a lot more complex, and we have to rent a mold, right?
Yeah,
Of a
well,
wall,
forms, concrete forms.
which is essentially a mold
Yeah, a mold.
that you pour the wet concrete into.
So the process goes, we dig it out, do the soils engineering reports, have that done. I lay down all the rebar. Once I lay down all the rebar, I call out the structural engineer. He comes out, makes sure that the rebar is spaced out the way he wanted it to. It's cut at the angles, it's cut at the right lengths he wants them to. Once we do that, we call for an inspection. Inspector comes out and inspects and makes sure we're good to pour. Once we pour the concrete, the process is we just get the order cement trucks of concrete, a cement pump truck, and then we pour it in with a hose into the forms. And then as we pour it, we aerate it with to agitate the concrete to get any air pockets out of the concrete. Now I started digging this out 2 days ago.
Yeah.
And then all we're doing today is soils. He's taking soil samples, and then I'm clearing out the burnt out tree trunks that you had around the property. I already ordered the rebar. I'm hoping hopefully it arrives on Tuesday. That way we can start laying rebar on Wednesday, and I'm hoping to get all the rebar laid by the end of next week. After that, we call for an inspection. The dump truck. We're loading up the rest of the tree stuff.
Gotcha.
Once we pass the inspection, then it's just about ordering concrete. They bring it out here early in the morning, and then we're out here racing the heat.
Yeah.
Yeah. If all goes well with the soils report getting sent to me fast, the structural engineer giving me the report fast, I'm hoping to pour concrete in 2 weeks.
So apart from that, you have also done some demo that was requested by me to get the concrete pad that was out there in the patio with the barbecue, that really old Game of Thrones medieval barbecue that I hated so much. I never used it. It was just here when I moved in, but it's finally gone.
And then we also took out your driveway.
That's right.
Pretty much we took out the driveway and the back patio that you had because when the Army Corps of Engineers came in, that wasn't technically part of their scope of work.
Right.
But we took care of you and we got rid of all that.
I hated both of those things, which is why I'm glad they're gone now. The driveway was always kind of it wasn't in like the roughest shape, but it just wasn't It was kind of an eyesore, and also the apron was a bit steep and my car had a hard time getting up there without scraping.
I've left a portion of the driveway because I need it to come in and to keep erosion if it rains from happening. So we'll do that all new again, and we'll give you a more gradual approach on your driveway.
I mean, this is all fascinating to me, you know, but then again, it is my house, so I should take an interest in it. I should find it interesting. How do you feel about it? Let me know, because I know there's a lot of people who voice support in seeing these house rebuild vlogs, these updates, but I didn't ask to what extent. Do you just care? Because all we did today in this video was look at some doors and windows and check out a bunch of dirt. Is that, if you guys aren't feeling that, we can focus on the meat and potatoes of this rebuild, right? Just the main elements, the foundation and the framing and the fixtures. But if you like the small stuff too, all the little parts in between, please let me know, because I'm really just shooting in the dark here. So thank you for watching this video as well. I appreciate all the support. This is, you know, such a crazy journey, and it's really just begun. So thank you for being a part of it. I'm glad you guys are here with me. And yeah, sorry I'm so winded. I just climbed out of that hole, and it's a big hole. Yeah. All right, guys. I'll see you soon.